What is up, everyone? My name is Jack Saffel, back again with another video, and today I'm here with my WWE Extreme Rules 2017 predictions. And going into the show, there's a lot of matches on here that I think have the potential to be show stealers, and of course the main event in Fatal 5-Way match could be very, very good in my opinion, but I'll get into that later on. So there are no pre-show matches announced just yet. I'm sure there's going to be a match that's thrown together or put together or whatever the fuck. Maybe R-Truth versus Goldust, since that team's broken up and Goldust has kind of gone back into his old school gimmick from like the late 90s, which is pretty cool, and R-Truth will doing something, so maybe they'll have a match on the pre-show or they'll have a match on the actual Extreme Rules card. Either way, I'm fine with it. But moving on to the matches that have been announced, I guess we'll talk about this mixed tag team match first between Noam Dar and Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks and Rich Swann. Don't give a fuck about this feud, to be honest with you. I haven't been paying attention to Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. I'm not saying these two are terrible wrestlers, just the feud that they've been put in hasn't had any steam, and I haven't had a chance to really care. And you could say the same thing about Rich Swann and Noam Dar's involvement, and just the Cruiserweight division in general, with an exception of a few people. But yeah, don't really care about this match too much, and I think Sasha Banks and Rich Swann will pick up the win. Next, we'll move on to the Cruiserweight match between Neville and Austin Aries. It is a submission match for the Cruiserweight Championship. I think this match is going to be really, really fucking good, in my opinion. Once again, haven't been really paying attention too much to this match, and just to Raw in general. Raw has like really tanked in like believability and just making me engaged into the show. None of the storylines are really hooking me in at the moment, but that's just the way the writers are. You can't really blame the talent. They're just doing what they can. But as for this match, who do I think is gonna win? They've been having this Neville and Austin Aries feud for a while, so I feel like surely in this match, this will be the match that Austin Aries will win the Cruiserweight Championship. Although I am a little bit conflicted, as I really do like Neville as Cruiserweight Champion. He has been the standout on that show. Maybe TJP can interfere in the match on Neville's behalf, since they've got a bit of an alliance going on at the moment. Or maybe Jack Gallagher can help Austin Aries, because he has a thing with Neville at the moment. So anything can go either way, and of course these two guys have their own submission moves, so I think this will be really, really fucking good. And I'm going to go with my prediction as Austin Aries. Next is for the Intercontinental Championship. Dean Ambrose will defend against The Miz, and if Ambrose is disqualified, he will lose the title. I fucking hate this stipulation. You have a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, yet you have a stipulation where if he's disqualified, he'll lose the title. That makes no fucking sense. That's like calling a pay-per-view Hell in a Cell and banning the Hell in a Cell match. Like, it's the stupidest thing ever. But anyway, moving on, just don't worry about that. As for the actual match, I think it'll be pretty good. It definitely has the potential to be somewhat decent. How I think is what's gonna happen? What I think will happen is The Miz will try to find some way to get Ambrose to get himself disqualified and for him to win back the Intercontinental Championship. I can definitely see that happening. That's something Miz would do, makes sense for his character, and because of that, I think The Miz is going to win via disqualification, which means he will become the new Intercontinental Champion, and will probably excel their feud a little bit more into great balls of fucking fire. Ugh. So yeah, who do I think is going to win? Miz by DQ. Cool. Next is for the Raw Women's title. It is a kendo stick on a pole match. Alright, you could have done better, but kendo stick on a pole. I'm sure Vince Russo will have a boner over that. Alexa Bliss defending against Bayley. Haven't been really paying attention too much to this feud as well. Just Raw in general is just, I haven't given a shit about Raw. They've had, Alexa's been hitting Bayley with a kendo stick time and time again. And then they had that segment on, you know what, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant on the segment that was on Raw, because, so, if you guys haven't seen it, there was a This Is Your Life segment that Alexa Bliss did for Bayley, and if you haven't seen it, I actually envy you, because it was fucking awful. Just Alexa, she had these actors. One was like Bayley's best friend, and Bayley's old best friend making fun of her and all that, and then Bayley's ex-boyfriend, and then Bayley's friend and the ex-boyfriend make out, and there's terrible acting, and then after all that, Bayley comes out. Like, you waited for all that then to come out, wouldn't you want to go straight away and just stop it before anything happens? Bloody Bayley to belly her through a table, that would have been entertaining, but yeah, that was a fucking shit segment. Can't get over how shit that was. Who I think is going to win? Alexa. She just won the belt. Keep it on her for a while. Bayley, I'm sure she'll get it back in the future, but yeah, have Alexa win for now. She's doing pretty good at the moment, despite that piece of shit segment on Raw. She couldn't do anything about it. Probably some 40-year-old writer and the creative team thought that was the greatest thing ever. And yeah, if I ever see the person who wrote that segment, I hope he gets a good old swift kick in the nuts. Anyway, moving on from that, we've got the Raw Tag Team titles defended in a steel cage match. The Hardy Boys defending against Cesaro and Sheamus. I actually think this match will be really freaking cool, in my opinion. I think Jeff Hardy will do something crazy off the steel cage, classic Jeff Hardy, which, we all love classic Jeff Hardy. I'm sure Matt would do something cool. Hell, maybe Cesaro and Sheamus, especially Cesaro. Who knows what he can do inside of the cage? He can do something very creative. And yeah, I think this match could be match of the night, in my opinion. It has all the elements there. Of course, Jeff Hardy and just the Hardys in general have that death-defying, high-flying style. Jeff is the risk taker and does all the crazy shit, and Cesaro is very creative inside the ring, and Sheamus is very hard hitting. He could use he does that 10 beats of the Ballion thing. He could do it up against the cage or whatever. Stuff like that could be really, really cool. And who do I think is going to win? I think the Hardys are going to retain, but I've heard the betting odds are saying Sheamus and Cesaro will win, which if they do, I'm not exactly going to be that mad about, but I like to see the Hardys retain, in my opinion. Keep it on them as long as possible until a new team can kind of take their place. Maybe the Revival. That'd be pretty good to see. But yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus as Raw Tag Team Champions, I wouldn't be too mad at. They're pretty cool. But yeah, in my opinion, I think the Hardy Boys are going to retain the Raw Tag Team titles. And then we get to the main event. It is a fatal 5-way match. The winner will face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at Great Nutsacks of Fire. It contains Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe, and Seth Rollins. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm actually kind of excited for this match. I think build-up wise, I haven't really cared about it too much. It's just 5 guys fighting for the Universal title shot. Cool. But for an actual in-ring standpoint, I think this match could be pretty fucking awesome, in my opinion. Joe is just an absolute beast in that ring. Rollins can do a lot of high-flying stuff and just crazy shit in general. Roman can be that badass that we all want him to be. I think he's going to bring it out in this match. Finn Balor is just the shit. He can do a lot of cool stuff. And even Bray Wyatt, in my opinion. And who do I think is going to win? I don't think Wyatt's going to win, in my opinion. Joe, he could win this, but I think they're going to save that match down the line. Roman Reigns, not yet. They're going to save that to WrestleMania 34, I believe. The two, Seth Rollins, yeah, possibly. But who I think is going to win? I think Finn Balor is going to win, and he's going to face Brock Lesnar at Great Nutsacks of Fire. I think that would be a pretty awesome match to see. Balor, who is not really the strong, tough guy that kind of Lesnar is, although Balor is a tough guy. He can be very innovative in a match like Brock Lesnar. So yeah, that'd be pretty exciting to see, and because of that, I think Finn Balor is going to win. And yeah, I'm just excited for this main event. I think it's going to be a really fucking good main event, and hell, I think it's going to be a really good pay-per-view. I think Extreme Rules is going to be pretty good, despite the fact that Raw has been very lackluster the last few weeks. The only things that have really kept my attention is the Enzo and Cass situation. Enzo keeps getting beat up backstage, and they're blaming the Revival for it, although I do think it's Big Cass that has been attacking Enzo backstage. Even Goldust bringing back his old gimmick, I think they could do a lot of cool stuff with that. although there are some things on Raw that make me go, that's pretty cool, I want to get invested in that, there's so many other things that just, who cares, you know, 3 hours and you don't even make it that exciting, like, who honestly fucking cares? But, yeah, this is going to be it for my predictions video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your predictions for Extreme Rules tomorrow, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. Twitter and Instagram is at JackermanLaw31 if you want to check me out there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for my Extreme Rules review coming at least sometime this week, and I'll see you guys then. And I'm out in 3, 2, 1.